Recently, it was brought to my attention that an item in scrap mechanic completely breaks the game. I already knew this, having tested the warehouse keys quite extensively. They are the only item that can be acquired in high quantities that is unbreakable even by farm bots. Unfortunately, they do take quite a while to farm, as there are a limited number of farm bots in each world, and they take several days to respawn. For example, in this world, the one with over 1100 days played, much of which was played co-op, we managed to farm a total of only 63 warehouse keys. It would take hundreds if not thousands more hours to farm enough to fully protect a large farm capable of withstanding a level 10 raid. There is another item, however, that is far easier to farm and also indestructible: the water bucket. Now you might be asking yourself the same question I did: why would the water bucket be an indestructible item? It's an item you acquire right at the beginning of the game. They're scattered around the map. They're also very cheap to craft, as they only cost 5 scrap metal. And the reason for that is the change that was made to the beginning of the game. So I guess it was about midway through, or maybe 3 years into the early access of Scrap Mechanic Survival, the developers added this new cutscene at the beginning of the game, as well as a tutorial to kind of guide you along the way and get you started. So the first thing it tells you is extinguish the fire in the ship. It's going to point you down here to this little exclamation point to grab your first water bucket. Now, if you play the game, you'll know that the water buckets are scattered around the map, and you can find a bunch of them, and also, like I said, they're very easy to craft. So why is it indestructible? The reason it was coded to be indestructible, and I'm not sure if this has always been the case or if it was just happened when they put this new questing system in, is because if this bucket got destroyed by a haybot or a topebot, you would not be able to complete this first quest, and therefore you'd not be able to get the logbook, and you would not be able to progress through the game. So that's the reasoning behind why it's that way. Now, the big question I have is, are they going to change it? If this bucket is left as it is, and it is just permanently indestructible, and we can also craft indestructible buckets, it's going to completely break survival mode and honestly make it to a point where it's not even going to really be a survival mode, in my opinion. I'm going to show you why in just a second. What I did was I farmed on the world that I was just on, the 1100 day world. I went around and farmed as much scrap metal as I could and got enough buckets to build myself a defense system with it to protect myself against a level 10 raid, to see if they actually are fully indestructible. I can confirm that haybots and topebots will not break them. I did try them against them. I have not tried them against hate bots and farm bots, but because of the way they're coded, they should be indestructible. So let's jump over to that world, and I will show you the defenses I've built, and we'll plant the crops and see what happens when we get hit by a level 10 raid and our only defenses are a bunch of water buckets. So to test out just how strong the buckets are, what I've done is I've built a 100 plot farm over here near the mechanic station. The reason I did it here was it's relatively flat. It's one of the flattest areas I could find, and there should be no obstructions from preventing the bots from spawning in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant 50 broccoli, 50 pineapple. That's going to trigger a level 10 raid. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait until the clock strikes midnight. Once the clock strikes midnight, we'll start planting these crops. And there's a total of, I believe, 288 buckets here. It's 18 by 18 on each side. So that's quite a bit of farm bots farm, but honestly, it doesn't take too terribly long to do it if you just go around and clear out all the buildings and stuff around you. And honestly, if you've been collecting buckets or scrap metal over time, this will be pretty easy to build. And what this should do is a level 10 raid, if you're not familiar, will have a couple of tote bots. It'll have a bunch of hay bots. It should have several tote bots or tape bots, and it should also have one farm bot. So if we plant them just after midnight, so once the clock strikes all zeros, it'll give us enough time to get all 100 crops down, and that'll give me the time to get the level 10 raid started. And what I'll do is I'll plant those, and then I will skip ahead until the raid just before the raid's going to start and show you what happens and see if these buckets do stand up to the attack. And I'm going to basically just be standing in the middle AFK, and I will reset. I'll set my respawn point to one of the little pods over there in case I somehow do get hit by like a stray tape shot, which shouldn't happen, but it could. So there we go. It's now midnight. So what we're going to do is we're going to plant all the broccoli first, and then we're going to plant all the pineapple. And then we're going to stand here and, through the magic of time travel, skip ahead until the raid's actually going to start and see what happens. So I've done a couple of level 10 raids before on bases that I built using everything out of Metal 3, and what ends up happening is the Metal 3 generally stands up to most attacks, even the farm bots. It'll take, occasionally they will break it, but generally they will not break too much of it. So if you just spam Metal 3 everywhere, you should be pretty safe to not allow them to get through it. And unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to give me a level 10. It says unauthorized farming detected. And there's no way it's going to be level 10 because I didn't get them all down in time. I thought if I started right after midnight, it would work. So what we're going to do is we're going to plant these and see what happens. Hopefully it does spawn in the farm bots. If not, I'll have to let it run for 2 consecutive nights. So it is now Yeah, it's just after midnight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip ahead, and we'll see what happens here with the raid, and hopefully we get a farm bot to spawn in. If not, I'll have to do 2 nights and see what happens on the second night. All right, so we got about 20 seconds here until this raid's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be a level 10 raid because it started the unauthorized farming detective before I got all the crops down. At a very minimum, I should get at least a couple tape bots because I had a lot of the crops down. And if there's not a farm bot, I can see a tape bot off in the distance over there in the water. There's another tape bot over there by the tree, and we got tons of hay bots here and tote bots. So this looks like it's probably like a level 8 or 9. And what is that tape? That tape bot off in the distance is just shooting randomly. I don't know what he's doing. But as you can see here, they are attacking the buckets here, and nothing's happening. I can stand right up against it, and I don't think they can hit me through it. They're not. The tape bot's literally just AFK there. So as you can see, the tape bots and the, I don't know, that tape bot over there is just maybe shooting at the cows. So the hay bots and the tote bots can't get through. The tape bots just standing there, not really doing anything. Unfortunately, a farm bot didn't spawn in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my magical time machine and skip ahead until tonight. I'm not going to touch any of these crops. So at a minimum, it'll be a level 10 raid tonight because there's 100 crops here. We got 50 pineapple and 50 broccoli. So let me skip ahead and get those farm bots to spawn in. What's going to happen here is in the next couple of minutes, these guys will actually just start running away and then they'll just leave. That's what happens. So I'll show you that on the next night. All right, we're about 15 seconds away from a level 10 raid here, protecting our 100 tier 3 crops, 50 broccoli, 50 pineapple, all protected by, I believe it's 288 water buckets. And we should be getting at least 1 farm bot for this raid, a bunch of tape bots, as well as hay bots, and some tote bots. So let's see what's coming. There's the farm bot over there, so he's coming. Got 2 tape bots there. Tape bot back there shooting at something. Here comes the farm bot. He's going to be the big test. So he did hit 1 crop. He's hitting the crops there, but he's not breaking the buckets. So it looks like his swipe can go through actually through the buckets, but he cannot break the buckets. That means if I get close enough to him, he will actually be able to hit me. The rest of the mobs could not hit me. Standing up against the wall, when they're swinging, they were not swinging through the wall. So I'm not going to get close to the farm bot because I don't want to die. But actually from this angle, is he not hitting them? No, he's not hitting them. He actually injured himself there. Uh-oh. Now he's shooting chemicals. Are the chemicals going to destroy the crops? I don't even know if they do or not. They're actually injuring me pretty severely here. So we're going to eat our sandwich here to stay alive. So it looks like for this raid, it would probably make sense to put... It did actually destroy some of them. So if you want to protect the crops from the farm bot, I would have to build a roof over it with I'd have to build a roof over it with buckets. Or something to protect from the chemicals. I don't think the chemicals can get through regular blocks, so that would probably be satisfactory. Oh, no, he's in. And I'm going to die. He got inside the buck. He got inside. Well, he's not actually attacking me. I do have enough ammo to kill him, I believe. So he is going to destroy the farm, and he's knocked me out. Oh, that's going to be a big problem here. Let's run away. This didn't go as expected. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely dead there. So, I think what happened was he ended up getting boosted over top of the tape bots, and they must have piled up against him and pushed him through. So I can respawn right inside the little bed. Oh, no, it respawned me all the way over here, even though I slept inside the bed over by the mechanic station. So we're going to have to run back over there. So... As you can see, it didn't go exactly according to plan, but nothing was breaking the buckets. So essentially what I could do, if I wanted to have the fully protected farm, I could farm enough buckets to place a roof over top of them with buckets on top of it. So that would take a little bit more buckets. I'm not going to farm those because there's just no really reason to. The point of this was just to show that the buckets cannot be broken. But you could essentially set up a fully AFKable level 10 raid safe base by just building an enclosed structure with the buckets. Now, normally the farm bots would not have been able to do what they just did there. It ended up it was pushing against the other bots and got pushed up over top of the buckets. That's why it got inside. So that's what happened there. But that doesn't normally happen. I guess if I would have built it on the coast, the farm bot probably would not have been able to get in either, because if there was I don't know, maybe if it was longer or something instead of just all of them piling up in one spot. I'm going to take my time getting over there. They're probably gone by now. They do start running away at around 3 or 4 a.m., so they should be gone by the time I get over there. So the crops were lost, but like I said, if I would have put a roof on it made out of buckets, it would have been fully AFKable because the farm bot would have just got on top of the buckets and just sat there and not been able to get inside of it. So you could just build one that has like a door that's made out of buckets, like the door opens up, you can just walk inside, or you could just kind of, I guess, stand close by and watch it from a distance safely. But I was actually not expecting it to shoot the chemicals. I forgot that if it can't reach you, it will shoot the chemicals. I think if I would have not been in there and I would have just been like on top of the mechanic station or somewhere not like basically not in there, it would have not shot the chemicals because it was shooting the chemicals at me, not at the crops, I don't think. At least I've never seen them do that before. So the buckets should all be intact. We probably have no crops left at this point, and I wonder if he's actually able to get out because they do have to run away. He could actually be trapped in there. We could actually have a nice little pet farm bot here if he's stuck inside the buckets could not have got out of them. He's actually trapped inside of there. That is pretty funny. He can't get out. Oh, there's also a tape bot there for some reason. I'm not sure what he's doing. He's going to end up killing me because I have no ammo on me. It is 4 a.m. I don't know why. He must be stuck there. He was probably trying to run away and couldn't get away. So what happens is they end up just running off in a like random direction, I guess. And as you can see, none of the other ones are here. So that one's just stuck. So I've essentially trapped a farm bot inside of this little thing here. I wonder how long he'll stay there. He'll probably stay there as long as I'm within range. Let me kill this tape bot so he doesn't snipe me. He dipped out. He left. He went somewhere. So this guy's just getting mad. Look at him. He's just stuck inside of there. So anyway, if you want to build yourself a farm, you certainly don't need to build a tier 3 or level 10 raid farm if you don't want to. Just a simple farm made out of buckets will completely break the game. That way you don't have to build on top of a plateau or out on top of like a small island that the bots can't get to. You can just kind of build wherever you want, put the buckets around, and actually he despawned too. I guess he just disappears after a certain amount of time. So the farm's fully intact. The crops are gone, but that's okay because I have hundreds more seeds elsewhere that I can use. But anyway, hopefully this kind of showed you, like, this is, like I said, this is one item that completely breaks the game. That, like I said, you can use the warehouse keys currently. They did say they were going to change the warehouse keys so that they were going to be different once the next update comes out. And they won't be, I guess they won't be fully indestructible. But as of right now, the buckets are fully indestructible. So hopefully they figure out a way to code the bucket to be able to be used at the beginning of the game, but not be able to be used to have it be like indestructible here and just build like a base out of it or a farm out of it that cannot be destroyed. So anyway, if you found this video interesting, make sure to hit the like button. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.